I've been in what was litigation support, is now kind of eDiscovery, since the mid-90s. So this is my 20th LegalTech. It's changed a lot over the years. I started off from a business and information technology standpoint, was what I studied, and ended up working for one of Xerox's outsourcing divisions. And that's how I came across the legal space and helped them build a business, and subsequently have created and divested a couple of businesses in the space. So excited to still be in an industry where there's so much change going on and so much good, intelligent and innovative stuff to do. But that's kind of my background. I ended up as the CEO of Inventus, which was a company that acquired my business called Unified, which I started with a business partner, Noel Kilby, in London. So still alive, still here, and still kind of fighting the good fight. Obviously, the big news in the eDiscovery space has been this wave of consolidation that we've seen over the last number of years. Obviously, it's created some very large companies, and that has its benefits, so that cost savings can be driven into what's delivered to clients. And there's obviously economies of scope and scale and service delivery. And so that's all great stuff. But actually, the thing that's most important to us at Inventus, and I think is becoming more important to our clients, is what I call the race to the top. So that's the race for talent and expertise. So the value that clients are looking for these days is more than just cost savings. Cost savings are table stakes to actually even speak to a client and engage with them. But actually, with the onset of algorithmic approaches to dealing with large sets of data, that requires the human element as well, more than the technology element. And that's, how do you take the data sources, how do you apply the correct algorithms, how do you test the variety of algorithms are out there to understand which ones are appropriate for your business and use case. And so that's why all of the companies in our space need to attract and retain the most talented people in the industry in a whole variety of ways. So everything from how do we deal with different sources of data, so different types of data. So voice analytics, for example, is a very pertinent area. Testing all the algorithms out there, using those that use a voice to text methodology versus those that use a phonetic searching methodology, and how do you compare those two very different things, and some that do both. But I think having a bench test of those and being able to give recommendations to clients based on some statistically sound methodologies for evaluating them is one of the ways that we use those algorithms. That's just one type of algorithm, but you can obviously apply that for various different sources of data and various different approaches. So the other one that's very common these days, outside of the contentious area of legal, is contract analysis abstraction and contract lifecycle management. Again, a very pertinent area, a very costly area for the businesses that we work with, and one that the algorithms and technology can really drive cost savings and efficiency savings and deliver value. I think connecting the dots, as I've mentioned, between this great corpus of startups in terms of the various algorithms that have been created, but they're startups and they don't have access to client data to help train their algorithms. They don't have trusted relationships with clients. And then on the other hand, you have clients who are looking for solutions and looking for new ways of doing things, but don't really know which of those technologies to pick and how to really test and trial them. That's where we fit into the equation. So, we have trusted relationships. We've delivered for clients over a long period of time. They trust us to understand their business, what they're trying to achieve, and that we actually understand those startups and those technologies. So really connecting those two dots, and we're a safe environment, or sandbox if you want, for them to test those technologies in, and then to implement them on full scale and deliver them to deliver value and cost savings. We provide services end to end, so really we're about legal services efficiency. So how do we deliver legal services more efficiently for corporations and for law firms? That can be anything, but primarily we've been historically focused on the contentious area, so litigation and regulatory investigations, frankly because of the high value of them and the high volume of data associated with them. More recently, we apply a lot of our knowledge in the area of contract and non-contentious work, and also we have a very, very large managed review practice, so we have over 300-400 lawyers working for us at any given time, delivering for our clients, reviewing documents, not delivering legal advice, but providing a more efficient and cost-effective way of them delivering their legal services. So Nigel and I met when I was still at Xerox, and I mentioned earlier that was one of the first roles I had in the legal space. Nigel had a company called Bohawk back then, and was one of the pioneers in the litigation support industry in the UK at that time. So that's how Nigel and I first came to meet. We worked together on a collaborative basis for one of our clients back in those days when a very large project hit. Frankly, there was no provider that could handle all of it. So it forced us to come together and really work in a much more collegiate way. And I think, that was the story, if you want, of Nigel. He was a very kind of collaborative guy, very collegiate, and he really brought people together. That was his great forte. I worked with him then subsequently in various guises over the years, most recently when he was at Trilantic and I was running the parent company of Trilantic. But as I say, Nigel was one of a kind, a character that you don't meet very often, and thankfully someone who remains in everyone's memories. We're on the journey that everyone else is on. We're passionate about legal services. We're passionate about what can be achieved and how we can really push forward and take legal services into the next century.
I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you're wondering where I am right now, I'm in Rome, and this is the old ancient Senate of Rome. And down here are the ruins of the rooms where Julius Caesar was stabbed. Just a little historical note for you. And if you want to subscribe to all my other videos, just click right over here.